The payments landscape in the United Arab Emirates is evolving rapidly. Consumers expect transfers to be instantaneous, while corporates want greater predictability and transparency.
The Commercial Bank of Dubai has invested in meeting these expectations on multiple fronts. And we're joined now by Dr. Bernd van Linder, CEO of Commercial Bank of Dubai, to look at this work in more detail. Welcome, Dr. Bernd. Great to have you here on Sibos TV. Looking very fresh for the first day of Sibos. It's good to see you. Now, moving on, CBD has been instrumental at helping to advance the UAE's payments ecosystem. But how do you define CBD's role in shaping the future of payments? And what areas are you prioritising to deliver faster, frictionless and more secure payments experiences?
When you look at the UAE, you look at a country that's sort of at the crossroads of global trade flows and of global capital flows as well. So you would expect payments and payments infrastructure, payments technology to be important. Regulators, leaders of the UAE have been very forthcoming, very innovative and very much focused on bringing the best and the newest technology. And CBD has played an important part in that. We're very supportive of the instant payment technology, ANI, that was launched recently. You can make payments not just with bank account numbers, but also with mobile phone numbers, with emails, QR codes. That's very important. And on the whole, for CBD, and I think it was already in your question, payments need to be instant, real-time, need to be error-free, and need to be sort of fraud-resistant, as I would like to call it. And that's the focus that we have in our strategy as well.
Now, digital assets are gaining traction globally, and SWIFT is exploring how to connect tokenized platforms with the traditional financial system. So how does CBD view the role of digital assets in the UAE's financial future, and what potential do you see for integrating them with established infrastructures like SWIFT?
Yeah, I think you're right. Digital assets have become more important. If you look at distributed ledger, stable coins, central bank digital currencies, tokenization. For a while, I had a feeling it was sort of a solution looking for a problem. But these days, these solutions are focused on real use cases and solving the problems that our customers have. When you look at the UAE, digital assets are a very important part of the ecosystem. Dubai has its own regulator, the Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, focused on building out the digital asset industry. Central Bank of the UAE is participating in a pilot on a central bank digital currency, or actually a multi-currency platform. I think the key is that it has to be part of an ecosystem. It's collaboration. It's not competition. And I see the way that SWIFT is moving towards tokenization. I really see this as a sort of a future consolidated ecosystem where you have tokens, you have SWIFT, you have central bank digital currencies, you have regional payment systems, you have bilateral corridors, sort of all working together.
Now, Dr. Bernd, cross-border payments have long faced challenges around speed, around cost, and of course, around transparency. So how is CBD working to address these pain points, and what role do partnerships and new technologies play in improving the customer experience for international transactions?
Yeah, I think you're right. When you talk to our clients, whether it's our retail clients making remittances or our corporate clients having high-value payments cross-border, it's still something that's challenging to get right, to make it instant, to make it error-free. We focused on building out our infrastructure to get a very reliable technology underpinning all of this. But as you said, it doesn't go without partnerships. We're working with JP Morgan, Kinghorst, the link platform, which helps account validation before payments are made. So that removes a source of errors. And I think more in general, given how fast technology is moving, the only way to stay ahead and the only way to really be competitive is through partnerships.
Let's quickly bring the conversation back to central bank digital currencies, because they're moving from concept to reality in several markets, especially in the UAE, what you mentioned just earlier. So how is CBD preparing for a future where CBDCs play an even larger role? And how do global political and regulatory debates, such as the US Big Beautiful Bill, influence your outlook?
Yeah, I have a feeling that central bank digital currencies are here to stay. They will form part of an ecosystem in which you have the other things I mentioned, in which you have SWIFT, in which you have bilateral payment corridors, in which you have regional payment systems. But central bank digital currencies will play a role in that. CBD is part of a pilot group working with the central bank in supporting this. The key is ultimately that whatever we deliver is good for our customers. It always comes back to our customers. There are challenges with cross-border payments if CBDCs will help to resolve those problems, then it's fantastic, because that's the only thing that really counts.
Now, Sibos is renowned as a hub of collaboration and innovation in financial services. But beyond the specific technologies we've discussed, what strategic partnerships or collaborative initiatives is CBD actively exploring to drive further innovation that ensures your offerings remain at the forefront of the industry?
I mentioned the JP Morgan one, the Kinghorst collaboration that we have. We're working very closely with Microsoft. We have a massive rollout of Copilot in our bank, adoption of about 90% within Commercial Bank of Dubai. Productive hours increased by 35% on the back of that. We launched a sort of digital literacy program for our staff together with Accenture, because I really believe that in this day and age, everybody has to understand technology and has to understand digital technology. Without it, it will be very hard to continue to be competitive as a bank.
Now, with so much focus on speed, automation, and digitized services in banking, how are you ultimately ensuring that the human element isn't lost and that the customer experience remains personal, intuitive, and also trusted?
It's a good question. I think as long as our clients are human, the human customer experience has to be key. And technology can only be support in achieving the best possible customer experience. Focus or starting from what a customer wants. So really it's human-centric design, a bit of an old term, but that's really what it is. Focus on getting your business processes right, that you define your business processes in such a way that they support the best possible customer experience, and then finding the technology to support it. In my experience, you will always be able to find the technology, but you have to start with the human experience. And it's not just our clients, it's also our people in the bank. They have to understand and have to be able to use this new technology in such a way that it contributes to the experience that they are able to deliver to our customers. So on both sides, the human experience continues to be the most important, with technology only be a supporting factor.
I'm going to ask you to look into your crystal ball for a second and tell us what your overarching vision is for the future of banking, particularly concerning the convergence of payments, digital assets and real-time capabilities within the UAE. And how will CBD continue to be part of this transformation to meet the evolving needs of the UAE economy? And what message would you like to convey to the global financial security gathered here at Sibos in 2025?
We're blessed in the UAE with a very forward-looking leadership and a very forward-looking regulator. And I think on the back of that, the banks themselves have become or are very innovative as well. So to me, the payment system of the future will be one of collaboration, will be one where you see SWIFT, where you see central bank digital currencies, where you see regional payment systems and bilateral corridors, all working together, sort of in a consolidated framework. The key is consolidation. It cannot be fragmentation, because ultimately only through this consolidated framework will we be able to deliver a better customer experience. So that to me is the only way forward.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here in the studio and for dissecting some of the biggest topics that are going to be taking place over here at Sibos this week. That was Dr. Bernd van Linder, CEO of Commercial Bank of Dubai.